Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Hour with Paul early on this Saturday morning. Welcome to the live stream. We have a lot of things to talk about today on this hour, and hopefully we won't go over an hour because I know your time is precious. It is the weekend, right? So who out there is working on the weekend? I know there's some guys out there hustling, some girls out there hustling too. So welcome to Coffee Hour with Paul. My name is Paul Abernathy. If you have never listened to any of our podcasts or watched any of the videos before, make sure you check them out. But we're going to talk about a lot of topics today. So I want to welcome everybody that's watching from all the way. I know it's early out on the West Coast, I think 7 a.m. probably. So again, thanks for those that got up early out on the West Coast. Those that are on the East Coast, you're already up and into your day. So again, thanks for joining me. So a couple things before we get started into today's topics, which we're going to be talking about gas prices. And trust me, it's not political at all. But we're talking about gas prices and how it affects a contractor and how you should address that or how we addressed it. We'll be talking about labor, a little bit about labor shortage issues. We'll be talking a little bit about the end of the NFPA 2003 cycle. So, you know, it's over now, except for the correlating committee's work to be done. And there's probably some things they're going to have to clean up. So we'll discuss that a little bit. And then we'll just get into some of the things that are changing for us so that you can be aware of it, like our app and things like that. So, again, welcome to the stream. We're streaming on 8 platforms. And of course, all of our streams are recorded, so you may be listening to it at a later time. But this show is Saturday morning, the 11th of June, 2022. Okay. All right. First, let's get into, well, why don't we go on and knock out the NITMAM process and get that out of the way for those that are interested in that. So they just finished the meetings in Boston, Massachusetts with NITMAM, Notice of Intent to Make a Motion, created CAMs, certifying amending motions to different things that I guess people didn't agree with after the public comment stage. So they were submitted and some were withdrawn. Some made it to the floor. I will say, sadly, I was not there. I am a voting member, but I was not able to go. I won't go into why. But trust me, in spirit, I wanted to be there, but was not able to go and join in the festivities in Boston. But I'm sure they did a wonderful job, and we will be covering all of the changes and things that took place in an upcoming coffee hour. So I will be doing some code changes, some in-depth changes on certain sections in future episodes of Coffee Hour. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and tune into that because I will be talking about different things like the impacts of some of the changes. Some of the tables have been renumbered, especially in 220. Most notably, the one that we apply the demand factors for dwellings, for example. We've always been familiar with that being 220.42. Now it's going to be 220.45. Not big changes, just kind of shifted a little bit. Some of the language is a little different, but we'll be covering that and all kinds of things because a lot of people know I spend an awful lot of time working on exam prep, okay, teaching people what they need to know about exam preparation and things like that. So we would definitely be talking about what changes took place. So it's upcoming episodes, so make sure you subscribe to Coffee Hour. So now that the NITMAMs are done, people ask, what do we go from here? Well, once the NITMAMs are done, so basically we went through the public input stage where you get to submit something to the NFPA, and it's all got to be, validated. And so the code panels look at it. Misconception, we don't sit at the table creating code. We weed through what's submitted. And of course, we have our own inputs. That's why we're there. Okay, that's why we're asked to be on these committees. And then it comes out and you review it. And if you don't agree with something, you come out with another chance to do something again. That's the public comment stage. And then we look at it again and say, you're right. This needed to be changed. And then we put out a second draft. And after the second draft comes out, of course, there's a first draft too after the public input. That's how you get to see what's in it. And then you can submit your comments and we look at it again. And then that creates a second draft. And then, that's what I love about the NFPA's process rather than the ICC process. Nothing against ICC, but I like the NFPA's process. And they give the stakeholders many, many chances to look at something. So here you got the second draft. You looked at it and you saw things you didn't agree with. And so you were able to submit NITMAMs. And the NITMAMs are what they just went over in Boston, Massachusetts. And they're available on NFPA's website. You can go look at them and see what took place, which ones passed, which ones failed. And it's just an interesting process. And I miss not being there. But you get to go through the process and the body gets to vote. That means if you're a member of NFPA and you're a voting member, and you are if you're a member of NFPA, you go there and you get to cast your vote. And when you cast your vote, then when all's done, it then goes to the correlating committee and they try to make sure there wasn't any issues with matching up things through the code, correlating everything together. And then finally, it goes for publication, right? And once it's published, it's just a matter of time before we adopt it. Hey, Schwartzy, welcome. Let's see here. We've got, I guess that's Peter. Welcome, Peter. Thanks for joining me. I can always count on Schwartzy to be there. I can tell you. Can't always count on Grunberg, but I can count on Schwartzy without a doubt. With that said, Grunberg was going to be a special guest today, but you know what? He's finishing that warehouse in the backyard, and he's got big things going on for Wired Up, so he had to take precedent. He did that first, okay? But I'm banning him from anything else. He's now permanently banned from everything I do because he's not reliable. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, beyond that. So, what we need to know right now is that some states, when this comes out, are not going to adopt it for another year. So as far as I'm concerned, when it finally publishes and it gets out there, we're going to start going over some of the changes. We're going to start changing our videos, and I've already started doing this. Many of you heard that we've got a video series coming out for calculations. It's going to be devoted to the 2023, but I'm making an effort to make sure that we always do the 2020 as well as the 2017 in the videos because I want them to last. Some people will do videos, and then once you come out with 2023, everything gets new again, and we're doing that, but the only reason that we're doing that is so that we can make sure that the new videos that come out are all going to have the references for multiple cycles. I just think that's a fair thing to do so that, if you're seeing a new video, but you're still in the 2020, or maybe you're in the 2017 National Electrical Code and you're jumping to 2020, these videos need to be important for you. So that's why we're doing it. We're also doing them white label, so you don't have to worry about us promoting Electrical Code Academy or whatnot in them. So other educators could use those videos as well in their program. It'll be short. For example, when we do the calculations for a single family dwelling, rather than one video that goes an hour, it's going to be broken down in each part so that you can focus on the first part, which is the square footage, 3 VA per square foot, small appliance branch circuits, laundry, bits and pieces. So collectively, we'll create a video that has them all, but then we'll also put together one where it just has part 1, part 2, part 3, because they become very important lessons to share on platforms where people won't sit there and watch it for an hour, right? They get little pieces. So it's important. It seems to me that that's the way to go. Okay. So that's what we got going forward. So again, we look forward to the 2023. A lot of great work involved in that. So for all you out there, that's your latest news. Other than the correlating committee, it's done. Okay. They will do their work now. And then the next step, publish that mamma jamma. Okay. So to everybody who was on the code panels that did all of that work and put everything together. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Maybe it wasn't wrong. So anyway, that's some great stuff. All right, next thing I will tell you is, interesting news. Y'all probably saw where we got our Part 107 drone pilots, commercial drone pilot license. I did. And why did I do that? Because we want to do some aerial stuff when it comes to transformers, up at the transformer on the pole. We wanted to get some close-up of things that we couldn't get to so we can show you some insights in a transformer series we're doing. And thank Schwartzy, because we're going to be using some videos that he has for transformers. But that's some upcoming stuff. There's so many things we have in the works, but we definitely needed to make sure we got that drone pilot's license. And you ask why? Well, because anytime you do drone footage and you share it on the internet, if there's a potential for you to make any amount of money, then that would be a violation of the FAA rules. So if you're sharing videos on YouTube and you're not generating any income from it, then go for it. But if you're going to have something that causes it to be other than recreational, hey, you got to have a drone pilot's license. You got to pass a test. So good news, we got that license. I am a licensed drone pilot. Whoop, I don't even have nothing for that. What do we got? Whoop, whoop sounds? No, I don't have any. But that's going to help us do a lot of also social media, TikToks and Instagram, because this new drone that we've got, which is the DJI Mini 3 Pro, has a horizontal and a vertical setting. So it makes it nicer for those social media stuff. So look for that to come up in the future as well, in some more videos that we do. So that's going to be cool. What else? Oh, yes. Before I get into the news, apps. So in case you've done it or not, and I'm sure Swartzy has, and Peter might have, but if you haven't downloaded our app, dude, do me a favor. You have to download our app. First of all, it's free, right? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a freebie. It's a no-brainer, right? So we want to make sure that you definitely download this app. Now, what can you do on this app? Well, you can chat with me directly, whatever that's worth for you. Feel like a code expert in your pocket. Okay, you're on a job, you got an issue, you can tap and get to me real quickly. You've got the Sparky Hub, which is our social media platform. Again, devoid of all this other BS on social media platforms. I mean, they got their place, right? Marketing, whatnot. But when you just want to talk code, man, go to the Sparky Hub. Okay, so you can get there directly through the app. Okay, just come if you want. You've got our podcasts. Dude, you can listen to all of our podcasts now. You don't need any other app for that. Right in the app, you click it, boom, through your phone. People have asked how to do that. Connect that to your car stereo system through the app or whatever. It's right there. Easy peasy. You don't have to worry about downloading any separate software, Spotify's or whatnot. Listen right there. So you can do that. Obviously, videos. So check it. We're going to have all of our exclusive videos for our monthly and annual subscribers. You can get the videos that are exclusive right there on the app. Everybody seems to be viewing with their apps these days. So right there, and I guess it's excuse me, it's okay if you got a big screen like that, right? But probably not so okay if you got a little screen. But anyway, people are doing it. That's what the kids are doing today. So definitely download that app. Now, where can you download that app? So we created what's called a mobile portal. And I'm going to show you real quick what the mobile portal looks like. And all you got to do is go to it on your phone. So let me kind of jump over to that. So here's what it looks like. So this is what you get. It's at our National Electrical Collective chat website, which is www.necchat.com. So it's necchat.com. And the NEC stands for National Electrical Collective. And what that is we're putting together resources that we can share within this app. So we're expanding this app. We're going to be adding other tabs and features, resources, calculators, all this stuff we'll be slowly adding part of the collective. But here you'll see some of the things that are on there, message boards. You've got the podcast, the videos. Programs. We have quizzes. So if you're preparing for an electrical exam or just want to keep yourself sharp, you can get to our programs as well on the app, quizzes. Now, we also have an example of our Fast Tracks beta mobile version that's on there as well that you can get to for free. But all you do is go put on your phone, cell phone, right? It's your cell phone, and go to a browser, any browser, and type www.neccchat.com, and it'll take you to this website. Then you simply just go down, and you're going to click right there where it says download our apps. And once you download that, follow the instructions. Now, you also can open up your QR scanner, and you can actually scan the QR code, and it'll do the same thing. So on the right, you kind of get an idea what the app looks like, although it has changed a little bit. It's kind of a little more schwanky now. So let's see if I can show you an example what it looks like. There you go. So it's our space. We partnership with Spaces, and it looks kind of like this. I'll show you what mine looks like on my phone. Okay, if you can see that. So you see the logo at the top, got me and everything. So you've got everything there, and you get to scroll across this here to go to the different things like my blog. If you haven't checked out my blog, that's in there too. We write blogs from time to time, and I have a neat blog on there about Federal Pacific, exam prep, stress and anxiety, motors. There's all types of blogs we'll be coming out with too, but you can get to them right from your phone, right there. So the whole concept of the app was to try to make things easy peasy. And so it's free. It's not on the App Store. It's not on the Google Play. We're not going to charge you $1.99 for it. All you got to do is go to necchat.com, and you can download it to your phone, and you can get involved with us right away. And that's a cool thing. Obviously, we sell courses in there as well. If you want to get our full Fast Tracks program, any of our swag, anything like that, you can get right through there as well. So it's kind of a one-stop shop. Okay. If you need tutoring, we are doing tutoring on a limited basis. Like maybe you're ready for an exam or trying to get ready for an exam, and you need that 1 hour with me right before you get ready to test. Well, we have that option in there for you to be able to do it. Originally, it was only going to be the Fast Tracks, but right now it's open to anybody who wants that. But only caveat is you really need to know what you want to study during that session. Otherwise, it's going to waste your time. Like if you want to learn something about ranges or something about load calcs or something about continuous loads versus non-continuous, all that type of thing, then there you go. You can get that in the app as well. So a lot of good things. And you know what? We are going to be expanding it, adding more and more features to the app. So it's free. Go get it. It's like Jimmy Walker said, it's free. All right. So we'll come back to that. Hey, welcome. Good morning. I know, West Coast, but you know what they say? What is that? Steve Harvey says on the West Coast, if you sleep late, then you're always behind because the East Coast has already started, right? They already started before you even go. Peter says, what is yours called? Okay, it's not on the App Store. It's not on Google Play because they would charge you for that. You need to go to www.neccchat.com. In fact, I will type it in the chat for everybody. That way you know where it is. And that is where you get the download. So you go there on your phone, and then you click on it and you say where it says download the app, then you follow the directions and load it on your phone. Okay. And you can stay in touch with us. Interesting thing is on the very main page, you go to the bottom, it says contact us. You click a message, you can send me a message directly. Oh, another neat feature. Haha. Push notifications. So we will send you things during the day, like a good morning. We'll give you a reminder that we're having the Wednesday night session. All those type of things are available. And in the future, we will also hopefully be streaming our Wednesday night through the app for those that are monthly subscribers as well. So that's thing. We got so much that we want to put into this thing, but right now is a lot in there already. So check that Mamma Jamma out. Okay. So let's get into topics for today. If you have any questions on anything we've talked about, there's the chat. Just put it in the chat. I'll do my best. I got new glasses. I don't know if you noticed. I still can't see with them. Trifocal? What is up with that? You know, I knew I shouldn't have done it because I still can't see. They say I'll adapt to it, but I haven't adapted to old age yet, so I doubt I'll adapt to these trifocals because you'll see me go like this because I can't see squat. So let's talk gas prices as a contractor. How's that going to impact you? Okay, so I'm sure you've seen the national averages are for something out in California. I can guarantee you Oak can attest that out in California, it's $5, $6, and $7 a gallon. Again, not going to get political at all here. Just not going to do it. But I will tell you, some things got to give. As the gas prices go up, inflation increases. The contractor has to figure out, how do I carry that on to my customer? I can't absorb that. Some of the projects you've already bidded. Some of them you've got a set price, but you know what? It's kind of like when you work somewhere, the cost of living, you don't get that cost of living raise guaranteed. And if you work for yourself, you most certainly don't get that. But you can't eat it either. So a lot of electrical contractors are coming up with surcharges, and that's a way to add it onto the bill. So if you're service related and you're running around doing services, then what happens is you have these services and you're thinking, well, I'm going to have to tap something onto it. Even if this is my hourly rate, you might not want to change your hourly rate, but you need to come up with a surcharge that is adequate. Okay. So, those are the type of things that you look. $8 a gallon. O says, holy crap. I don't understand the gas prices, to be honest with you, because I guarantee you, and you tell me, I guarantee you at the end of the year, ExxonMobil and all of them will show record profits. I know they're a for-profit company, but we all pay for that. And it's called capitalism. I get it. And I certainly don't want the government to take control of the oil and gas industry. Hell no. The problem is, are they so greedy that they can't work with us to drop it down to ease the pain so that the country can still keep growing positively? They don't have to line their pockets so much, maybe. It's just a thought. But anyway, what do we got here? Oh, Brian says it's a really good app. I get to watch the videos and listen to podcasts while working. Awesome. That's awesome. Which is an extra helpful since I test for North Dakota Journeyman in a week on Monday. You know what, Brian? You're going to nail it. Nail it. Make sure you do the practice exams in there, the quizzes under the programs tab. Make sure you're doing those. And we do those in a unique way. First, we give you the quiz so you can read it. That way it doesn't, require you to have any pop-up. You just read it, come up with your answer, and then you click the quiz, and then you answer the question, right? So some of the early ones we did, it was an A, B, C, and D, and you had to write that down, right? We got away from that now. So when you look at, I believe it starts with quiz number 6, where actually when you hit the quiz button, the answer is fully written out, right? So it just makes it a little easier. But we do that on purpose. That's how we do our quizzes. We give it to you in 2 pieces. One that allows you to read it, because our thought is, and we may be wrong, but the thought is you'll open up this and you'll look it up first before you click that quiz button. Okay. You'll read it first. You'll study it. You'll look it up, write down all the pertinent information like code sections that you feel are relevant. And then when you're ready, you click that quiz button. So it's a little different than some of the apps that you can get on Apple Store or whatever, where you buy it and all it is code questions. That's it. Well, that might be great, but it doesn't give you anything else. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. I think our app is so unique that it is basically a code expert in your pocket. You can get other apps and they charge you. Some of these apps charge you $5, $6, $7 an app. Ours is free, and in it you got podcast, message board, the Sparky Hub, you've got the blogs, you got the podcast, you got directly connected to me, you got the announcements that we send out. Dude, download the app. It's free. Go to www.nechat.com. Okay. Joseph watching from New Jersey. Joseph, you're always watching from New Jersey, studying for electrical inspectors exams, maybe. Peter says it's $6 in Oregon. It's $350 something. No, $460 a year. In Texas, and we got oil in Texas, but there you go. Anyway, just outrageous. Just a year and a half ago. Okay. So gas prices. So make sure that if you're a contractor, you don't lose money because of the gas prices. It is okay to add a surcharge. Now, that's okay for service, but what about if you've already bid jobs out? Okay, what if you're the basement king and you already made a commitment to do a certain number of basements or whatever, and what happens now? Because all this, you got to go back and forth, and I just filled my Jeep up, and it was $70, roughly about that, $75. That's cheap compared to some places. Like I said, $8, $6, $7, $8 in California, crazy. And it's a big square block rolling down the road, so it burns gas. So if you're guys in a big van and you're going out to job sites and you're back and forth to supply houses, it eats into your profit. So it's nothing wrong with surcharging it. Also, once you've already bid something and that's set in stone, people say, well, how do I change that? I find that it is okay to reach out to those people and say, we're going to have to charge an additional fuel surcharge. It wasn't figured in there. That's up to you whether or not you want to breach that. Some people say, no, I really like the people I'm doing this work for, and they will get ticked off if I try to change the price. Okay. It's set in stone. It's set in stone. Just remember, moving forward, I would always do an agreement, and I always do contracts for any work I do, and I recommend you do it as well. In many states, it's the law. The handshake deal doesn't work. I would always make sure there's a clause in there that says when the gas prices or gas gets over a certain point per gallon, that an additional surcharge will be added automatically. Just cover your bases in your contracts. I'm just saying. If you're big enough that you can absorb it, you can absorb it. But again, the prices the way they're going, what I don't want to see is a contractor losing money. Okay? We don't always get cost of living raises when things go up right away. So same thing should happen here, but we should be able to adjust for the gas prices. Okay? So that's my thought on that. And I'm not a prognosticator, but I will say that we are going to see gases go up for another year, or at least until after the midterms. I'm just saying. All right, next topic. Let's talk about labor shortage. The electrical industry, some reports have came out. I tried to find them this morning, but I had problems because I was going to actually share my phone and show you the app, just a demo, but I can't get that link to Windows things to work with the Windows 11. I don't know what's going on. It says it's connected, but it just won't work. So I've abandoned that. And so was going to tell you that labor shortages, despite the inflation, in spite the gas prices, everybody is so tired of COVID that business is booming. I can tell you the wire and cable business, we're just rocking and rolling. We can't produce product fast enough. So it's don't look for prices to come down anytime soon. Obviously, y'all all know that. But labor. Everybody I talk to, and y'all know I'm connected with a lot of electrical contractors out there who consult with me, but also friends and everything, and they tell me they just can't find good help and keep good help. And everybody expects to get top pay with little or very little knowledge. So very few people are wanting to start at the bottom and climb their way to the top. And that's when we talk about licensure, because a lot of people will say, do I really need a license? I've been doing this for 20 years. And my answer is yes, you always need a license if you're qualified to get one. In other words, you have the time in. You always go for that license. You heard me and Jay say apprenticesaurus before. It should always be the benchmark for your profession. If you can sit for a license, you're qualified, you got the time in, what are you waiting on? What are you scared about? Just take it. You know what I'm saying? Get it. Put it in your back pocket. Will you get more money? Yeah, you should get more money. You've shown people that you don't just know it, you don't just walk the walk or just talk the talk, you actually proved it. So again, now states that don't require licensing, can't help you there. Maybe you should get the CMECP program, and that way you have at least a credential that you can show and make you stand out amongst other people. Maybe that's an option for you. But yeah, it's one of those things where it seems like we need more quality electricians, but everybody I talk to, they're like, I can't find them and I need them. I had one guy who was doing a large data center project. He's like, Paul, we're even taking poor help, right? Because we just need the bodies. Well, that's interesting because, you've never really been in a situation where you're like, I just need the bodies. I want skilled labor. I want people that know what they're doing. I don't want to fix somebody else's mistakes, and I don't want to hold their hand 8 hours in the day. So, so the thought is out there for anybody that's thinking about getting into the electrical trade. To me, it is still the most amazing trade out of all the trades. We're the keepers of the light. Okay, I actually created a logo for that that's available over on electricianpride.com if you would like to get the logo on a t-shirt or on a hat. Shameless plug. But it's just, there's so much pride that can be involved in achievement being an electrician. But your knowledge is just not about turning wire nuts and making connections and knowing how to run raceways pretty, and you have to constantly keep that knowledge. I mean, a doctor is constantly learning. The interesting thing about doctors and lawyers is that when you hire one, you hope they're good, right? You hope they're really good. But you don't know where they finished in their class. They could have been last in their class, okay? Who knows? They could have been last in their class and end up president. You never know, right? So the more important thing about it is that they are required to expand their knowledge. They are required to keep learning. And that's the good thing about continuing education. Because if your state requires continuing education, and every state's different, it at least puts your mind back into the code, okay? Because that's what they're based on. A lot of people say out there, you see it on TikToks and Instagrams or whatever, they'll say, dude, that person becomes a code person because they can't do it anymore. Well, first of all, us 50s and 60-year-old folks don't want to do it anymore. Hello, we've been there, we've done that. But secondly, code is a whole nother aspect of the profession. You can be the best installer in the world, but every time you install it, it fails an inspection. That's not good. Or you're one of those that post images on TikTok or Instagram that might look pretty, but it's riddled with code violations. God, that's like an oxymoron, right? So your goal should be, even after you get your license, is, in my opinion, and obviously I'm biased because I sell electrical training, but my belief is that you need to spend 2, 3, 4 hours a month keeping sharp on the code. And that's just needs to be what you do. Now, I prefer you spend more time in that, whether it's just flipping through the code book, reading something, reading articles, blogs, something. Watching our podcasts, watching our videos, listening to our podcasts. That way it can achieve it the same way. But yeah, that's just keeping you into it. To me, that's important. Always, always important. What does Joseph say here? Again, with my glasses, I can barely see. It says, I'm hearing that up in Maine, urbanites are buying properties, but when renovating, there is a shortage of laborers in the trade. Absolutely. It's just incredible the boom we have now, you got to remember, employers laid a lot of people off because of COVID. Things went to a standstill. Now, when that was lifted, even though COVID's still out there, it's still very relevant. The problem with people is that they're ready to work and people are ready to build. Now, even with the price of material, and some people are reporting you can't even find material, right? I'm hearing that you can't even find main lug only panels very much anymore. You have to get them with the main breaker because they're just not making the main lug only. And everybody blames 230.85, whereas you require for dwellings and exterior service disconnecting means. I don't think that's the case because you can get individual service disconnecting means and then feed a remote distribution panel with main lug only. But I think it's just, the supply and demand and what's being produced. And so you have these shortages, those type of things. So all of that's driving the price up. And it's all meaning that you're going to pay more. And again, we need the labor to install all this, okay? And also the other sad thing is, and I see this on the apps like the Nextdoor apps and all that kind of stuff for your neighborhoods, is that now you've got people doing work that are unlicensed. Now, I'm not going on a little step stool and talk about people doing, because somebody listening might say, yeah, well, I do work on the side, and I'm not a contractor. You do you, boo. But for me, I have to remember that I am very focused in supporting electricians. I'm very focused in supporting the proper licensure. Now, am I a hypocrite to say that back when I was young that I did a little side job? Probably the reason I even made it through high school, other than electrical helped me, was that my teachers seemed to always need electrical work. And guess who was there to help them? You got that right. So, y'all know my English is bad. So my English teacher needed a bunch of ceiling fans hung. And midterms were coming up. Well, guess who hung those ceiling fans? That's right. Guess who didn't have to take the midterms because his grade was just over the threshold to be exempt. Was it before I hung those ceiling fans? Well, I'm just saying, there's certain courses in school that I couldn't stand. I loved math, loved algebra, did not care for English. I'm just saying. Shakespeare, I'm sorry. So at the end of the day, I'm not totally, I understand that what you got to do is you do what you do. But again, I'm very supportive of licensure. I'm very supportive of making sure you have the proper insurance to protect the consumer and all that. But I get it. People are going to do what they need to do. Just be really, really, really careful in doing it, okay? What does Schwartzy say? The last big job I was on, that was the chief compliance from all the contractor was nobody can find help. Go chief complaint. Yeah, you can't find help and you can't find good help. What constitutes good help? Well, let's talk about apprentices and good help. So let's assume you can't even find journeymen, and certainly the master electrician is the albatross in the room, right? So when it comes to an apprentice, what's a good apprentice? Do I expect them to know everything? No, absolutely not. Do I expect them to be able to listen, follow directions, be very tentative, show up on time, be respectful to others, have a desire to learn, further their career by really studying when I ask them to? Yes, all those make a great apprentice, okay? Somebody that comes and really gives me any notion that they don't give a damn, that's not good. Anybody that says I can't see it from my house, you need to go. I'm just saying. As an apprentice, this might not be what you want to do for the rest of your life, but it's what you're doing for me today. And I expect 100% of that focus today. I ain't going to be filing no OSHA report on a big job because you were lacking and weren't paying attention or snoozing during a safety meeting or whatnot. That ain't happening. Your ass is gone. So when you're focused, here's my advice to an apprentice. When you're focused and you're on my job, I want all of you for 8 hours. And if you work overtime because you're going to get that extra ching-ching, I want all of your focus, okay? Don't be throwing wire nuts. Don't be goofing off or whatnot. I ain't paying for that. I'm just saying. That's my definition of a good apprentice. You ain't got to be the most knowledgeable in the world, but you need to be able to listen, take direction, follow, all those type of things. What does this choice say? Things are so bad, I was asked to go to Virginia to finish. That's one of those things where a lot of the bigger companies have to send folks around in order to pick up that slack. That's crazy because of the shortage. What does that tell you and me? That tells me that this profession is booming, baby. That tells you there's money to be made. People are looking to hire you. And if you're good, you can demand good money. So out there, this is my message out there to the vocational. And I used to go to vocational schools, and I still do that. So if you know a vocational school out there that wants somebody to come during an open house, or maybe they're talking to prospective students and how electricity and can change their life, contact us, reach out to Brittany. Just go to our website and contact us and ask, and we'll work something out where I can come and speak to the group and tell my story of how I was pretty much, I could have easily dropped out of school. I was great in math, great in all these other, but I hated going to high school. And then I found the electrical program, and I excelled in it, and so much so that I became my teacher, my mentor was like a second dad. And I just got so engulfed in electrical and reading everything. Kids would be going off to summer school. In summer, they'd be doing summer things with family. Not me. I was taking electrical classes, code classes in the summer with the apprenticeship program. And I wasn't even in the program, but they let me take it and all this kind of stuff. So I just was eat up with it. But again, it's all in what you want. I knew I wanted to be in the electrical career. I wanted to be an electrician more than anything. And so I was lucky enough that I had a brother who inspired me. And I got to vicariously live through him. And then he introduced me to the instructor of the vocational school. I fell in love with him and his concepts and the rest was history for me. And that's 33, 34 years later. So again, latch on to somebody. If you're in vocational school or you're in there, latch on to somebody because it can be an awesome thing. Okay. It can be an awesome thing to latch on and grow. Okay. So what do we got here? Joseph in New Jersey, Eastwick College, RETS Institute in Nutley has a full-time day electrical program. There you go. So you're in New Jersey, dude, hit it. Definitely get in this trade. It is just so, you know what? You've heard me say it. Electrical trade is a noble trade. We keep the lights on. Okay. Think about this. Nothing against plumbers. We need trades. We need all trades. Think about a plumber. You can grab a 5-gallon bucket and a pool noodle and go to the bathroom anywhere. But if you do it in the dark, it could get messy. I'm just saying. So we keep the lights on and we keep things running. We keep things safe. If the water leaks, it's not going to kill you. I guess you could drown, but hopefully you got enough sense to get out of the house in that case. But we keep things safe. We keep things running. Okay. That type of thing. So, again, I can't think of any other. I wouldn't be in any other profession. Just wouldn't. Just wouldn't. Joel, welcome. It was hard to join the apprenticeship program. Being a high school dropout. Yes. So in apprenticeship programs, it can be harder. Sometimes their threshold for entrance, they make you take a competency exam and all that stuff. It can be harder, but you don't get deterred because there are other programs you can get into, whether they're online programs. Whether they're work for a company that's non-union or union, they might have a training program. The key is you don't give up. And I sense, Joel, you're the kind of person that would never give up. So don't give up in your area. Apprentice programs are not perfect for everybody, right? IBEWs, NECAs, all those unions, non-unions, not for everybody. Okay, IEC has a training program. The goal is this. If you have a desire to get into this profession and grow in this profession, then don't let no be an obstacle. You can make it happen. I say this all the time when people ask, how do I find a job with a larger company if I'm just getting into this trade? Then you don't send things by email. You hear me? You don't try to do it online. You find the company in your area that you want to work for, and you go to them and you request a meeting with the president or the CEO or the hiring manager, whatever. And if they deny you, you come back again. You don't take no. When I was a contractor, there's a couple times that I had somebody come in. I'm like, we're not interested. They come back again. And I found a place for somebody, okay? If you have that much passion and desire, don't let no be an obstacle for you. Keep pressing along. And if you can't find somewhere you want to work, then expand your knowledge, take the classes you need, take the programs you need. Heck, I don't even care if you do an online program that is accredited or unaccredited. If it gets you knowledge that you can help keep you into it, but then while you're doing that learning, don't stop the physical part. Keep pushing to get your foot in the door at somewhere to get that hands-on training. Okay, so I'm saying, don't give up. This profession it's too much of an enjoyable, meaningful occupation to just give up. Don't give up. Okay, let's see here. What else do we want to talk about today? We're getting close to the hour, so what else? Code changes. There's going to be quite a few code changes that we're going to be going over in upcoming videos. Also, our calculations series is going to be, it's still working. We're still recording the videos. Got a bunch of them to do today. So we're going to be recording those after this coffee hour. And this is actually my M&M mug. Sorry, I needed the bigger mug today rather than my coffee mug. If you want to get the coffee hour and show your support to the show, then you go over to electricianpride.com, electricianpride.com, and you can get mugs and everything with our logos on it to help support the show. Podcast news, Kicking It with the King. So we have, we're going to be dropping this weekend the first episode of Kicking It with the King. Okay, so that is with Jay Grunberg. Y'all all know Jay from Electrician Live. So he will be kicking it with the King. And I don't know the topic of the episode, but it will be airing this weekend at some time. So we will feature it and drop it. So it's on all of our network platforms so that you can listen to that. It's got a real neat intro. Okay. We had a special guest do the intro. See if you can figure out who it is. On our podcast from the app, which again, if you came in late, you can download our app from necchat.com. Okay. Or you can go to our website and get it. It's free. We have a couple new episodes dropped. So one is on a question about remote distribution panel and neutrals and equipment grounds together or not together. Again, we should know that 25032 A and B, and about establishing a grounding electrode system. So go listen to that podcast in your car on the app. We talk about non-metallic sheath cable and its ampacity. We had a question come in on Let's Ask Paul about that. We had another question covered in episode, I think, 63 that talks about electrical inspector, wanting to become an electrical inspector, which, years ago, people used to say, well, those that become electrical inspectors were people that couldn't cut it anymore as an electrician. Boy, that's so BS. Being an electrical inspector is a career. And I know many people are friends of mine who made it a career and they're doing very well with it. They need to know code. And I'll talk about in that episode, I'll talk about how it's easier to transition from being an electrician to an inspector. And sometimes it's harder to get in there on the ground floor as an inspector without any electrical knowledge, but you can do it. So we talk about that. So make sure you listen to that episode. What else do we want to talk about when it comes to that? That's it. So download the podcast for that episode. So do we have any questions in the chat? I don't see any real questions that are being asked in our chat. If you have any questions, if I can see the freaking thing. Joel says he just got pushed. Thanks. You got my journeyman's license. Okay, hold on. I got that going on for you. Oh, also tell you over in the Sparky Hub, if you're not a member of the Sparky Hub, check it out. There's discussions going on that we have over there. Check it out. I usually give some examples of some install calculations or something like that. Latest blogs. I've got the latest blog is anxiety about exam prep. So check that out. We have a blog on there also about Federal Pacific. And again, I'm not a big believer in just immediately saying Federal Pacific is bad. But what I did was I posted the Consumer Product Safety Commission's final statement, which was updated in 2011 after 2 years of testing, and then they stopped the investigation and they put out their results. Like I say, that ends up being up to the consumer, the customer. All we can do as electricians and tell them what we think. But let's not use fear as even if you want to get the job, even if you want to get the panel change, even if you want to make the money, I get it. But let's not do it in approach where we're selling something that we don't know, we just think. Okay, so don't baffle them with bullshit. There you go. Present the facts and let them make the decision. Okay, I should have a bleep button on here because I should be like boop, but I don't. Oh, changes to the studio. I've got a new mixer board coming, Rodecaster Pro 2. Excited about that. It'll actually be over here on its own elevated console. I know you're saying, why do we care? Because it's going to have a lot of neat features that I can bring to upcoming shows built into it. So that's exciting, right? I guess. As I told you earlier, we got the new drone. I already have drones, but this is a newer one because I wanted the vertical. We're going to be adding some footage to that. That's going to be part of our training videos. Also, Encore Wire launched their training facility at the Encore Wire corporate office here in McKinney, Texas. And in the future, we'll have some videos that'll come out, co-sponsored, I hope, with them, with some MC products and things like that through framing members and studs. And I can give you some insight codes and things like that. And we'll hopefully be able to share them mutually. Bunch of things like that going on. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for this episode of Coffee Hour. Just make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you click that notification bell if you're on YouTube or wherever you're at. Also, I'm soliciting topics for future episodes. So if you want us to talk about something, do me a favor. Just go to our website, electricalcodeacademy.com, .net or .org, it doesn't matter. On the right, the Contact Us button, click on it, put in there what you want to hear future topics about. Or you can email us at info at electricalcodeacademy.com. And we're more than happy to produce some shows and do some training or give you some insight using this Coffee Hour platform. We'll also bring you industry news as it breaks, like the news about the NITMAMs being over. And we're going to do an episode that examines the changes. We're going to be doing that as well coming up. So other than that, get the app. It's freebie. And that's it. I got nothing else to tell you. So if I got no questions in the chat, okay, then I'm going to tell everybody that you need to stay safe out there, be diligent, follow the NEC, minimum safety standard. And as always, like and subscribe. Till next time, folks, stay safe. God bless.
Morning coffee, vanilla latte served to go. I drink it slow. Morning coffee, cappuccino.